1923 never fails to shock us, and episode 3 was a roller coaster of emotions, action, and unexpected twists. Just when we thought things couldn't get worse, the show reminded us why it's one of the most intense series on television. But now, all eyes are on episode 4. What's next for Alex after her terrifying ordeal? Will Spencer's path lead him to danger or salvation? And what new threats are lurking in Montana? Get ready, because we're diving deep into the latest episode breakdown and uncovering the shocking details about what's coming next. Episode 3 put Alex through one of the most horrifying experiences we've seen so far. Her journey to reunite with Spencer should have been a moment of triumph, but instead, it turned into a brutal test of survival. After enduring humiliating medical examinations and the cold indifference of immigration officers, she barely had a moment to breathe before facing an even greater threat, a predator lurking in the shadows. That chilling moment in the bathroom left us all on edge. A mysterious man followed Alex, and from what we saw in the episode 4 trailer, things are about to get violent. The trailer reveals a shocking scene, the same man grabbing Alex, covering her mouth, and attempting to overpower her. But Alex isn't someone who gives up easily. In another shot, we see her running, her clothes disheveled, and most importantly, drops of blood on her outfit. The question is, whose blood is it? From the looks of it, Alex fought back, and fought hard. Actress Julia Schlaepfer, who plays Alex, hinted in an interview that we'll see a side of her character we've never seen before. She's not just running for her life, she's fighting for it. If this attack was supposed to break her, it might do the opposite. It could awaken a rage inside her that will change everything. But the biggest question remains. Will she finally reach Spencer? Or will fate throw yet another obstacle in her way? The last time we saw them together, their love was unbreakable. But after everything Alex has endured, will she still be the same person Spencer fell in love with? Episode 4 is bound to give us answers, and from what we've seen, it won't be pretty. Now, while Alex is battling her demons, Spencer is dealing with a completely different kind of trouble. His journey is about to take a wild turn, and his encounter in Fort Worth might be the moment that changes everything. But before we get into that, let's talk about another character who's been getting on everyone's nerves. Elizabeth. While Alex is out there fighting for her life, Elizabeth is still struggling with life on the ranch. And let's be honest, she's not handling it well. Since season 2 began, her story has been filled with endless complaints, fear, and hesitation. We get it. Ranch life isn't easy, and she was thrown into it without warning. But her reaction to the rabies shot in episode 3, that was just too much. The way she made it into such a dramatic scene, insisting that Jack watch her while Kara administered the shot, felt almost ridiculous. This isn't about romance or proving love. This is about survival. Compared to what Alex is enduring, Elizabeth's struggles feel small, and the show seems to be emphasizing that contrast on purpose. Episode 3 made it painfully clear. Alex and Elizabeth are two completely different women. Alex is facing brutal, real-world dangers. She's being treated as less than human, fighting against predators, and barely surviving. Elizabeth, on the other hand, is struggling with the discomforts of a new life. Yes, it's difficult, but it's nothing compared to what Alex is going through. This contrast might not just be for storytelling, it could be setting up something much bigger. Could this be a sign that one of them won't survive the season? For a long time, fans speculated that Alex might die, leaving Elizabeth to raise her child. But after seeing Alex's strength and Elizabeth's weakness, that theory seems less certain. Now, it feels like the tables might turn. If the show is preparing Elizabeth for something darker, maybe even her own demise, it wouldn't be surprising. And if Alex does make it back to Spencer, she might be the one who takes on the role of survivalist, shaping the Dutton legacy in ways we never expected. But while Elizabeth's struggles might seem small compared to Alex's, the Dutton Ranch is far from safe. Episode 3 left us with a disturbing cliffhanger. Zane's life hanging in the balance. The brutal attack left him with a severe head injury, and the doctor's only solution is to drill a hole in his skull to relieve the pressure. The problem? There's no anesthesia available. This means one thing: pure, raw pain. Episode 4 is likely to deliver one of the most disturbing medical scenes in the show's history. If the procedure goes wrong, Zane could die. If he survives, he might never be the same again. Either way, the Dutton Ranch is on the edge of another tragedy. The Duttons have faced some horrifying moments, but what's about to happen in episode 4 might be one of the hardest things to watch yet. Zane's life is on the line, and the only way to save him is a medical procedure straight out of a nightmare. After his injury in episode 3, the doctor makes it clear. If they don't act fast, Zane will die. The only way to relieve the pressure building inside his skull is to drill a hole into it and drain the blood. But here's the worst part. They don't have anesthesia. If this scene plays out the way we expect, it's going to be one of the most intense moments in the entire series. We've seen violent shootouts, brutal fights, and tragic deaths, but watching Zane go through this, awake, screaming, in unimaginable pain, will be a whole new level of horror. But there's a bigger problem. Will he even survive? Medical procedures like this were risky at best during that time period, and without proper sterilization or pain management, the chances of infection or complications are high. If Zane pulls through, he might be permanently changed. He's been a loyal right-hand man to the Duttons, but will he still be able to fight for them after this? And then there's Elizabeth. She already panicked over a simple rabies shot. How will she react to witnessing something this gruesome? This could be a major turning point for her. She might finally realize just how brutal life on the ranch really is. But will she toughen up, or will it break her completely? While the Duttons are dealing with this personal crisis, a much bigger threat is brewing. Donald Whitfield is about to make his next move. We've seen how dangerous this man is. In episode 2, he got a new business idea after watching Norwegian men skiing. Now, in episode 4, he's taking action. According to the official synopsis, Whitfield will be gathering support for a major business venture. But here's the question. How will this affect the Dutton Ranch? We already know that Whitfield is a powerful and ruthless businessman. If he's setting up a new business, there's a high chance that he'll try to take land from the Duttons. We've seen wealthy men try to take their ranch before, but Whitfield is different. He's smarter, more connected, and completely ruthless. In the episode 4 trailer, we see him surrounded by other rich men discussing his new project. But one shot stands out. He's smiling. That's never a good sign. When Whitfield is smiling, it means he's planning something, and it's not going to be good for the Duttons. Could he be plotting to buy up land around the ranch, cutting off their resources? Or worse, could he be setting up something that directly threatens their survival? Whatever he's planning, it's going to put the Duttons in even more danger than before. And with Jacob still recovering from his injuries, the ranch is weaker than ever. If Whitfield chooses this moment to strike, they might not be able to fight back. But let's not forget, there's another major storyline that's about to explode in episode 4. Spencer is about to meet someone who could change his entire path. Who is this mystery character? And will Spencer get sidetracked once again instead of returning home? Spencer Dutton has been through one of the most dangerous and unpredictable journeys in the entire series. From surviving the brutal landscapes of Africa to deadly encounters at sea, his path has been nothing short of chaotic and heartbreaking. But now, in episode 4, his journey takes another unexpected turn. He crosses paths with a mysterious sheriff in Fort Worth, Texas. The episode 4 trailer shows a tense moment. Spencer is sitting under a tree when suddenly a gun is pointed at him. The person holding it? A determined and fierce woman named Em Fayette. We've been waiting for these two characters to meet, and now that moment has finally arrived, but it won't be a friendly introduction. Monsieur Fayette is a woman on a mission, and Spencer just happens to be standing in her way. In episode 3, we saw the brutal massacre of Comanche children by Father Renault and Marshall Kent. These men have already committed unspeakable crimes, and Monsieur Fayette knows they won't stop until they eliminate Tiona. This means one thing. She needs an ally, and fast. Spencer, on the other hand, was on his way back to Montana, determined to reunite with his family. But if there's one thing we know about Spencer, it's that he has a strong sense of justice. If he learns about what's happening to the Comanche, and if he sees the horror that Father Renault and Marshall Kent are responsible for, there's a high chance that he'll join the fight. But here's the big question. Will this delay him from returning home once again? The Dutton Ranch desperately needs him. Jacob is still weak, Whitfield is closing in, and the family is barely holding on. If Spencer chooses to stay and help Monsieur Fate, he could be putting his own family at risk. But if he ignores the injustice happening right in front of him? With so many explosive storylines unfolding at once, episode 4 is shaping up to be one of the most intense episodes of the season. From Spencer's unexpected alliance to Whitfield's looming threat, there are too many moving pieces. And that's exactly why things are about to spiral out of control. So, what can we expect next? Let's break down the biggest theories and final predictions for what's coming. 1. Spencer and M. Fates team up. Will they reach Montana in time? Right now, the biggest question on everyone's mind is, will Spencer ever make it home? His journey has been full of obstacles, but now he's about to face his toughest decision yet, with Monsieur Fayet dragging him into a dangerous mission against Father Renaud and Marshal Kent. There's a real chance that Spencer will get sidetracked. Again, but there's another possibility. What if Monsieur Fayet is the key to getting Spencer back to Montana? If they work together to stop Renaud and Kent quickly, Spencer might be able to leave immediately after and finally reunite with his family. If things go sideways, Spencer could be stuck in Texas, fighting another battle that delays him even longer. And let's not forget, Spencer doesn't even know how bad things are back home. If he knew what was happening with Whitfield and the ranch, would he even hesitate to leave? There's one more wild theory. What if Monsieur Fate ends up traveling with Spencer all the way to Montana? If the two of them form a strong alliance, we might see them take on not just Renaud and Kent, but also Whitfield himself. Imagine a scenario where Spencer arrives home just in time, but he's not alone. Instead, he brings M. Fate and a group of allies, giving the Duttons the extra strength they desperately need. 2. Whitfield's ultimate power play. Will the Duttons lose everything? One of the biggest red flags from the Episode 4 synopsis is Whitfield's new business venture. We've seen how cunning and ruthless he is. He doesn't just want to destroy the Duttons, he wants to own everything. Right now, we don't know exactly what he's planning, but here are some terrifying possibilities. He's buying up the land surrounding the ranch, trapping the Duttons with no way out. He's using his wealth to gain political control, making it impossible for the Duttons to fight back. He's preparing for an all-out war, gathering men and resources to finally wipe out the last resistance standing in his way. Whitfield isn't just a normal villain, he's the kind of man who plays the long game. He doesn't rush, he calculates. And right now, the Duttons are vulnerable. If Spencer doesn't return soon, Whitfield could make his final move, and this time, there might be no way to stop him. 3. Zane's fate. Will he survive? Episode 4 is going to test everyone's limits, but no one will suffer more than Zane. His gruesome medical procedure will either save his life or end it. And even if he survives, will he ever be the same? Some fans believe that Zane's story might be coming to an end, especially since the show is focusing so much on him lately. But if he does survive, he might come back stronger than ever. He's always been loyal to the Duttons, but after this near-death experience, he might be even more ruthless in protecting them. And honestly, they need that kind of firepower, especially with Whitfield closing in. 4. Elizabeth's breaking point. Will she stay or leave? Let's be real, Elizabeth is on thin ice. Since the beginning of Season 2, she's struggled to adjust to life on the ranch, but with everything escalating, she's running out of time to prove she belongs. There are only 2 ways her story can go from here. She toughens up and becomes a true Dutton, embracing the violence and hardship that comes with it. She breaks down completely, deciding that she can't handle this life and leaving forever. Some fans believe Elizabeth might not survive the season, and after everything we've seen, that theory is starting to make a lot of sense. Final prediction. Episode 4 will change everything. If there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Episode 4 won't be just another episode. This is the moment where everything will start falling apart, or finally coming together. Spencer's choice will determine the future of his family. Whitfield's next move could be the final blow that crushes the Duttons. Zane's fate will decide whether the ranch has one more soldier in the fight. Elizabeth's decision will define her place in this brutal world. And with all these storylines building towards something massive, one thing is clear, we're not ready for what's coming next. So, what do you think will happen in Episode 4? Will Spencer finally make it home? Will Whitfield take over the ranch? And most importantly, who won't make it out alive? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you think this episode is going to be the biggest one yet, you're absolutely right.